one. Happy 2000!
I guess I probably should have done my research.
First question, Jack Ragnar. He says, love the archetypes. Would it be useful to divide them into sub-archetypes?
Yes and no. One of the reasons I would say no is because the more you divvy it down, then the less impact or the harder it is to get guys to kind of find themselves within any of them. So I very intentionally did it at 3. However, my friend Baron, who runs a site called the Effortless Gent, I'll get you a link to this, but he divided up his archetypes into something like 6 or 7, and I like all of his archetypes, and so there are a few other guys who've kind of played off of this idea, and they've done it really well, but it doesn't cover all the bases as well as doing the 3 primary archetypes does.
Nathan Price 21 asks, what is the one clothing item or style you want to try to get more into or try out in the new year?
So I've been working on the Rugged Style Guide, which is kind of interesting that's the one that's been the most requested from you guys, because that is the archetype that I embody the least. So it's been a bit of a stretch, which is kind of nice. But one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of as I've been working on this is the idea of work shirts, casual button-up shirts that were intended to be worn in like shop environments or outdoors, and so they're things that are made out of really heavy flannel or chamois or like really thick gauges of cotton. They're designed to be durable, and I like the rugged aspect of those and the old school kind of tradition of them, and so I'm going to start incorporating some of those into my wardrobe a little bit more.
Okay, third question from Toby. What are your thoughts on dress boots?
I love dress boots. I have a pair of Daltons. They're a particular boot from Alan Edmonds, and I think it's just another excellent nod to this idea of dressing intentionally, and dressing seasonally is a big part of that. You wear something like your casual boots or even Chelsea's, and they don't work very well with a suit in a refined environment. Like a business environment, something that's not business casual, but at the same time, wearing regular dress shoes can really suck in the winter, especially if you deal with snow and freezing rain and anything else it sucks. And so a dress boot is not going to be nearly as durable or as waterproof as an actual casual boot or a work boot, but it's not intended to be. It's basically supposed to kind of straddle the line of still looking very office and business appropriate, even elegant, while doing a better job of protecting especially your ankles and the rest of your feet from getting totally soaked in if you end up stepping in a bank of snow or in a puddle or anything to that effect. So I think that I would say they're probably a secondary or tertiary item that a white collar urban man should have in his wardrobe. It's certainly not something that you need to go out and buy right away, but it is something that once you have a pair or two, you don't know how you manage to do without them, so I love them. Sean M. asked me what I think about New Year's resolutions, like if I think they're a waste of time or a good endeavor. I don't know. I don't get all the hate on New Year's resolutions this year. I've seen a lot of guys hating on it. A lot of guys saying that New Year's resolutions are garbage, that you shouldn't wait for the new year to start. And yeah, I get that. In fact, I was even a little bit cynical about it myself. Last year, I've been doing my 30-day challenges for a year and a half now. And last year, I took January off. I didn't challenge myself to do anything because it felt like it was a New Year's resolution, and it felt like I was just jumping on some sort of bandwagon, which, I don't know, it's dumb. If you want to improve yourself and you want a milestone as a time to be able to do it, then do a New Year's resolution. Now, I do get that most people don't follow through on them, and if that's the case, then yeah, it's stupid. Follow through on them and actually turn it into a real challenge, but I'm setting goals for this year. I'm continuing to do my 30-day challenges, and I will do one even for January. So I would say use it as a starting off point if you need one. If you don't, then keep going through it, but don't let other people's failure to follow through on their New Year's resolutions be a deterrent in you doing anything with yours. K Painter, I think that's how he says it, wants to know what is the worst haircut I've ever gotten. I've had some bad haircuts in my life. I'm not going to go this way because the sun's in my eyes. We're going to go back this way. Worst one was 8th grade. At that point, I was just starting to get into the whole BMX scene, and favorite rider was a guy named Matt Hoffman, who should be enough of a household name that you've heard of him. If not, go check him out. He is the Tony Hawk equivalent in the BMX world, and he was definitely someone who was worth looking up to. And at this point, this was probably, I don't know, 97, 98. He had really, really big fro, really super curly hair. It's not like a black dude fro, but just like really super big curly hair. And I wanted to be like him. I wanted to have sideburns like him. He had these big mutton chops, which obviously there's no way to make that happen when you're in 8th grade, at least for me. I talked my mom into letting me perm my hair. It did not end up looking like Matt Hoffman's hair at all, especially because mine was super short, so it's just this really like tight, gnarled little perm. And then to make it worse, since this was the 90s, this was also a time that it was very popular to have your hair bleached like platinum blonde. And so I did that too. Let's see if I can find a photo of it. 8th grade, I had bleached platinum blonde permed hair. And nobody looks good in 8th grade. Nobody does. Your teeth are bad. It's this weird mix of like baby face, but your nose is too big. And your hands are too, like, it just, it looks so funny. It was so bad. So yeah, that definitely takes the cake as far as worst haircut for sure. One random. Jurgen wanted to know why dropping ball on New Year's Eve, which I had never thought about that before. It's a good question. So I went to timesquarenyc.org and I looked this up. And what they said is that the actual notion of a ball dropping to signal the passage of time dates back long before New Year's Eve was ever celebrated in Times Square. The first time ball was installed atop England's Royal Observatory at Greenwich in 1833. This ball would drop at 1 o'clock every afternoon, allowing the captains of nearby ships to precisely set their chronometers, which was a vital navigational instrument. So it was a visual way for the ship captains to be able to gauge where they were with their time. And then it first became associated with New Year's Eve, and especially New Year's Eve in Times Square in 1907. That was the first year that they dropped a ball. They've gone through 7 different versions of the ball throughout the 100 plus years that they've been doing it since then. So that is why. Some of your questions, personal, style, random, whatever it is. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment if you want to, and see ya.